Hi Megs, welcome to the Community Living Golf event. Just going to let your swing play through here at regular speed a few times, and then we'll put you back in your address position and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. Swing analysis here has been sponsored by Mercedes-Benz Oakville. So here we go, put you back in your setup. Let's just go ahead and take a look at your address position. Spine is nice and straight and on a slight tilt. Your legs come down into a nicely unlocked position, and from there your arms hang down nice and naturally off your tilted spine, and the golf club works out to the golf ball. So your setup looks really good. Your posture, your balance, distance away from the ball looks pretty solid. Let's go ahead and take a look at your alignment. We can see your feet are in a little bit of a closed position, aiming out in this direction. Now parallel lines on camera will have an appearance of converging. So we can definitely see that you're sort of set up down the the right edge of the fairway, leading out to the right rough. So we might have to see some form of a compensation whereby you'll be wanting to hit the ball back towards the center of the fairway. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Chella Choi. We'll just slide you over there a bit. So we can see very similar setups here in the posture, the balance, and the alignment. You can see your feet are going a little bit further right than hers. As we go ahead and take a look at the actual golf swing itself, we can see here as she initiates her takeaway, she creates a really good shoulder rotation, drawing the arms and hands back as well as the golf club. And we see the club coming back directly along the red line. Simply means the club is coming back on our proper swing plane. As she continues to carry this golf club back, we can see that she's going to continue with her shoulder rotation, establishing wrist hinge here, taking the club from being below her hands to now above, and the golf club's now working from red up to yellow. When we finally set the golf club at the top of the backswing, we're going to see that the left arm is situated on the yellow line. The club shaft is within the blue-yellow V zone, all the while keeping that club shaft just a little bit closer to yellow than to blue. We also see she's created full shoulder rotation. She does this about a very stable right leg, and she keeps that weight on the inside part of her right foot. With you, as you initiate your takeaway, excellent shoulder rotation, drawing your hands and arms back. We can see here that you don't create a lot of forearm rotation, so the club face stays a little closed, and the club does sneak underneath the swing plane a little. It just means that the club has moved just a little bit to the left of the red line. Not an issue at all. As we continue to move back here, we've got to start seeing some wrist hinge. Wrist hinge is a major source of power, and because you haven't created that forearm rotation, those wrists are staying a little bit stiff through this period of the golf swing. And that's one of the major factors as to why the club is stuck a little bit to the inside. So if you learned how to create better wrist hinge to initiate the takeaway, that club would have stayed on a better plane, and the club face would have opened up a little bit better and not stayed just a little bit closed. Through here, you start to incorporate some pretty decent wrist hinge, so you're recovering now. And when we finally get set at the top of the backswing, you definitely have full shoulder rotation. Your triangular arm unit looks really great to your core, just that you set the arms a little bit shallow. We can see the left arm sort of across your sternum here and not situated a little steeper up on the yellow line. The club also remains in excellent position relative to your arms, so it's a really nice geometric set position with respect to the arms and the golf club at the top of the backswing. You also create really nice rotation about a very stable right leg, so your lower body looks really good as well. If we go ahead and take a look at the downswing here. So if we take a look at the left side of the screen here with Chella Choi, and she creates a transition back into the golf ball, simply going to drive the weight from the right foot to the left foot, fire the knees and the hips, and unwind the core and fire the hands. And in doing so, we have to make sure we're bringing the club from yellow back down on top of red. And that's exactly what we see here from Chella Choi. The golf club has returned back to plane. The other thing we want to point out is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. It simply means we're retaining angle coming into the hitting zone, whereby the club head is remaining above and behind our hands. This is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in the golf swing, let alone getting it to return back to plane as we already pointed out. So this is also going to allow us to hit the ball straight in accordance to our alignment. So the three things that we need to hit a golf ball straight: we have to have good aim, we have to bring the club down on plane, and then we have to square the club face up via having a good grip. If we have those three things, then we can hit the ball straight and be very, very consistent. We can see with you, your transition back into the ball, you drop the golf club really nicely from that blue-yellow V zone back to red, so this is excellent. We definitely have some form of a resemblance between the lead form and the golf club, that we have this backwards check mark. We do see that the golf club is returning back to plane. So a really good pre-impact position from here. The only thing that we're missing is retaining the angle a little bit more, and you're not retaining as much angle as we see with Chella Choi, because you didn't create enough wrist hinge going back. So in order to have that angle coming into the golf ball, we have to achieve it going back. So if you learned how to create better wrist hinge, which was one of the things I mentioned about your backswing that was sort of lacking there a little bit, if we create better wrist hinge during the backswing, we'll have more hinge, we can retain more angle coming into the ball, and therefore you're going to be able to create a little bit more, not maybe a little bit more, but a lot more power. If we go ahead and clear this stuff off the screen, we simply just want to take a look now at the club coming into the golf ball. We can see in Chella's case, that club just simply comes to the ball from slightly underneath the red line. Ideally, this club head should be on the red line to be on perfect plane. So she falls a little bit underneath it, tacking the ball a little too far from the inside. So the error here would be to block the golf ball, potentially a little bit out to the right if she doesn't fully square the club face. Now obviously she really releases that club, and she's probably going to hit a nice soft draw where the ball starts a little right of her alignment and then works back to the left, because obviously she has a good grip and she has the ability to hit the ball relatively straight due to the fact she has good aim, good downswing plane, and a good grip. With you, as we come into the golf shot, we just track your club head coming into the golf ball. We can see the club drops right down on the plane here. Again, we are lacking that wrist hinge, so we're not retaining the angle enough. We've released a lot of the power before we get to the golf ball. But if we just sort of connect the dots here, we can see that you have a really nice descending plane where that golf ball is coming into the golf ball from that red line. And this is what's going to allow you to hit the ball straight in accordance to where you're aimed. Again, assuming that your club face squares up via having a good grip. Now, one of the things we already pointed out was that you didn't have a lot of forearm rotation. Club face stays a little bit closed coming back. Therefore, that's very likely your club face is going to be a little closed coming into the ball. And we can see here as you get back to the ball, that ball actually heads left of where you're aimed. And that's due to the fact that the club face is being closed. Now, that could also be a byproduct of the grip. One of your hands, your left or your right, might be a little bit strong. Strong doesn't refer to pressure being applied to the grip. It's positioning. So it just means that your left hand might be a little too far over top, or your right hand might be a little too far underneath, and that's going to cause that club face to close through impact a little bit. Last thing we want to pay attention to here is just has to do with the actual path of the club. We can see here Chella's club is slightly inside the golf ball. It expands out, makes contact, and then moves through in a nice natural subtle arc. So again, she's going to hit the ball relatively straight in accordance to her alignment with having a good grip. Your club is stuck just maybe a little bit directly behind the golf ball, drops down across, but you're moving through on a pretty nice natural arc. You can see yours is coming just a little bit more from out to in, and then that face is definitely shutting down. As Chella moves through, the last thing we want to sort of point out just has to do with her right heel. We can see at point of impact the right heel is off the ground, and then we just want to look at the continued activity of that right foot through to the finish, whereby that right heel comes fully off the ground up on the toe of the right foot. That allows all her weight to get to the left side and allows her hips to square around and shoulders to fully rotate. So she gets herself into a really nice finishing position here. All her weight's on the left side. She's posted up on her left leg. That footwork here in the right foot allows those hips to square around, and her hands are high with the club back in behind her. As you move through here, good footwork, hands are working well, really nice move through to your finish. Really good athletic looking golf swing there from you for sure. So overall, as a little recap, Really nice athletic move with your hands. You draw your hands back, you fire your hands through. You give yourself good coil coming back, you uncoil through. You've got excellent footwork allowing you to carry that energy through to your finish. Number one thing you got to work on is your backswing a little bit, creating a little bit more forearm rotation, definitely learning how to get more wrist hinge, and then that way learning how to come into the ball, retaining more angle because you've created more wrist hinge going back. Also, you want to try and keep your balance a little bit better through your finish here, where you're not stepping out of your shot with your right foot. So when you swing through, you want to get the weight on the left side. And if you just pay attention here, just watch your left heel a few times. Your left heel comes off the ground, your left heel. Okay? And so if your left heel comes off the ground, you're displacing weight onto the toes of the left foot, your center of gravity is going to fall over, and that's why you're taking a step towards the ball. So when you swing through, get your weight on your left side, learn how to displace the weight in the left heel when you're done. If you got the weight in your left heel, you won't fall over. So if you actually pay attention to a lot of tour players when they're done their golf swing, you're going to see that their left toes are curled off the ground. Actually, let me pull up Chella again and let's just see what her footwork looks like there through to the finish with her left foot. Sorry, I moved it there. Let's take a look at her finish. So see right there, see her left toes? Her left toes curl off the ground and all her weight gets displaced into her left heel. So she's not going to fall over because the weight is in the heel of the left foot when she's finished. Okay? But nonetheless, you got a great looking golf swing. Got a lot of great things happening here. A couple little tweaks would obviously allow you to hit the ball just a little bit further, give you a little bit more power, and obviously just because your golf swing's already so good, it'd be nice if you just finished in balance, and the golf swing will look even that much better. Okay. Anyways, if you ever wanted to work on any of these things, I'm located out at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Also, if you're ever involved with any tournaments and will require any services like this to provide as a gift to the participants, certainly feel free to send me a message. All my contact information is at the end of the video here, and be happy to do that for you. Okay? Anyways, hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video, and hope you enjoy the rest of your summer.